almıştı. Şimdi Londra'ya gidip Londra'da FXTM piyasa araştırma direktör yardımcısı Jameel Ahmad'e soracağız. Jamal, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me.
We just had a huge reaction from the markets, both in FX and also the bond markets. Do you believe that the tensions between Turkey and United States brings out a permanent and continuous pricing, or is it just daily negative news effect?
I would personally say that this is quite an exaggerated reaction from the markets. If you look at how much the lira had lost against the dollar at over 6% on market open and to fall to a record low against a basket of different currencies, for something that seems to be just an increase in diplomatic tensions and nothing more serious than this, I would say it's quite an exaggerated reaction, quite an aggressive reaction from investors. We know that the Turkish currency, the Turkish lira, can be very sensitive to political risk, and the lira is known to be one of the most sensitive currencies to political risk as it stands. But still, this is quite a sharp reaction from investors, and I believe it's been overdone, to be honest with you.
And we just saw that the locals and the households were buying FX as far as it's coming down, as far as Turkish lira was appreciating. But we just saw the fund managers were really optimistic on Turkish lira on carry trade positions. Did it play a role in that reaction's strength and also the volatility as well?
This is a good question to ask, because you could say that investors were underpricing any risks between an increase in political risk around Turkey right now, because this has come completely out of the blue. Personally, I was one of them that was also very positive on the Turkish lira as well. I believe that as a currency, it's the most oversold and undervalued emerging market currency that's around. I believe that the Turkish growth story is actually quite positive, and although there's very high inflation pressures, the lira should actually be a lot stronger than what it currently is against the dollar. If you look against most emerging market currencies against the dollar this year, they've gained between 5 to 7%, whether that's Asian, African, or other currencies. But the Turkish lira hasn't quite seen such a continuation in buying demand. So I would say that actually the lira is very much oversold at this point, and these are diplomatic tensions. I'm just wondering whether they can continue or not.
So what's your expectation throughout the end of this year? Do you expect moving Turkish lira to appreciate around 350s once more, or do you believe that your X forecasts are under risk?
Actually, because there's been such a sudden escalation in political risk and these political tensions, it's possible that investors are going to watch out to see how this tension between the US and Turkey evolve, before seeing how things play out. Personally, I would have said before these tensions had escalated that the Turkish lira should be trading around 350 against the dollar. I was actually looking to see if it could conclude trading below 350 and 340 against the dollar, because that would have signified a significant correction in the Turkish lira. But because of these tensions, we now just have to monitor how things unfold.
Jameel Ahmad, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Evet.